We've been complaining that Jared hasn't been doing a lot of content lately, but I watched 3 hours at double speed to summarize this so that you do not have to. Please be sure to share this with friends or org mates. I don't even care if you subscribe or not, because this specific set of information is quite important, and there's a lot that may not know simply because they don't have the 3 hours to invest in watching a video game video. On the 11th of September 2025, there was a 3-hour-long Star Citizen Live simply with Benoit. It's called Tech Talk. Here's what you need to know. Today we had one of my favorite Canadian video game developers, Monsieur Benoit Beausejour. He is the head of Turbulent in Montreal and CIG's Chief Technology Officer. His team of engineers is tackling some of the more unique issues, and Turbulent is also responsible for the most stable piece of game tech that we have, the web store and the web forms. Jared with the usual intro, and we were off to summarize the last 9 months since Ben was last on. Part 1. Playability. Jared asked if we actually have achieved playability because in recent history CIG decided to focus on Squadron 42 but to switch from features to playability in the PU. Ben started a year back, 1 server, 1 shard, and poor performance with 30Ks, compared to now with some huge feature additions. Server meshing was added and this naturally improved the performance by as much as 20%. Ben said that they have pushed to 800 player servers and the logs are showing that more players are able to play longer more frequently. Chat asked Ben to focus on the micro scale of the problem because Jared said that yes, that they know that on a macro scale things are better, but there are still individual parts that break the game for some. Ben said that this is why the show is going to be very long and he wanted to discuss all of these features today. Ben said that they changed and moved people around. Squadron still has dedicated teams, but there are teams that are dedicated to individual fixes. Ben said that some of the fixes that get fixed regress, and that is that they break something else worse than the original issue that was fixed. Player impact drives the focus, and the team is super satisfied when they finally achieve a solid fix without regression, moving the bar forward. What's the problem? What's the proposed fix? And then the proposed action. They would add a feature and then test it and then fix the result. But now they have dedicated playtesters within each section to verify during the development of the feature. And this obviously sounds obvious, but this is new and it seems to add time to the development. But ultimately, Ben says that the product is more likely to work properly when we get it, reducing frustration and reducing the need to go back and rip it all apart to fix it. Not all errors are as impactful, so they're approached by severity, which is why there are some long-time errors that have been with us for a long time. Also, some errors are going to be addressed naturally as some legacy features are replaced. Stability is measured by a score. How long a server can remain up. Optimal to critically unstable is the range for this assessment. Ben said that he's really confident that the numerical value is accurate. The stability rating has been improving since patch 3.18, and they ideally want to release a new build with a better rating than the current live build. Ben said that they were able to migrate away from the teams that build sound engines, visuals, missions in their own little pipes, which technically allowed some of the parts to take longer to delay or stall other parts. Or worse, sound could technically break a part of the patch. Graphics might technically break a part of the entire patch. Their solution was to merge the efforts into teams. 4.0 came with the change in how the PU would be released. They added previews to isolate performance with the addition of tuning and meshing. The newest preview includes 9 months of changes to the core renderer with updates to visuals and tools that are used to create future content. Subsumption isn't dead, it was called something else. And can we get an update to see if Tony Z is still working at CIG? It's been a hot minute since anyone has actually heard from him, and if you know where he is, comment in the comments with your comments. Where is Tony Z? Hopefully he's doing fine. Jared said that the game audience is split between all of the different versions of the game, live, PTU, and the preview. They're interested in exploring new ways to get more players playing so that they can continue to get valuable testing data. Ben said that they're working in a maintenance window where they may reset a server to freshen it up based on its performance rather than on a schedule. They may add a fresh shard, migrate the population over to minimize the impact, and then cull the old server. They're still working on this to further improve our experience. Part 2 was current tech. Meshing has been running for about 7 months. Bugs have been solved to remove issues and adjust the load balance. Events get more server resources, and Ben said that they will keep testing and they will be able to run the data to see how to fine-tune it better. Other games do server meshing, but the approach at CIG is able to operate the client, the network, and the current state in their own individual parts, which is unique. The simulation is modeled in 3D space, which allows player migration to traverse to non-adjacent servers based on the best performance that you may receive. The word hybrid was used several times to differentiate how CIG does this compared to other companies. Part 3 was big ticket items, things that have caused frustration, such as the freight elevators. Ben said that they should have added this much earlier in development. There were issues associated with obstructions, such as items that were left on or on top of the elevator, breaking everything because of clipping. They've added more global checks for items that may interfere with things, not only the elevators. Ben said that there was a regression as they rolled out the elevator, which was a big challenge. Depending on which asset was streamed in first, the system may lose it. So Ben said that they've worked on a self-healing code that would prevent this issue, and he said that checks may be done several times during a normal interaction. Some desync may hang an object from streaming in, causing an issue. So this also has some self-healing code to make sure that the right thing is where it should be in the state that it should be, such as a door that's opened or closed being correctly displayed for everyone, either opened or closed. Local cleanup and lifetime cleanup are still being tuned, and the current timing that he said was 72 hours. Eventually, if a group of players keeps loading assets into one place, it would have a negative effect on performance, and they said that this will eventually force them to remove some assets despite the idea of persistence. Overspawning assets such as NPCs is currently a reality, and this is going to get some more verifications to fix that in the future. In July, the legacy interdiction mechanic seemed to have an issue with cross-server systems. The beacons and interdiction were incompatible due to the player count making notifications being shown constantly and making accepting the beacon not always having the marker shown. This needs an update. The transit system is your elevators, trains, and other systems to move things around. It needed more developers allocated to it, and Ben said that the current system still mostly behaves well despite the odd issue, and they're going to focus now on transport. They're testing transport on an internal build between locations, so look out for that in the future on a preview build. The ATC needs a complete overhaul, but they're said that they're not working on it at the moment. They want to change how you interact with your hangar manager, and this still needs to be brainstormed to be put into a tech document and then added. Part 4 was the biggest issues. Spending hours to prepare, to get a team together, to do the mission, and then your persistent fails. You lose items. Ownership is supposed to be checked off a master list every time that you go to a terminal and retrieve something. Ben said that there's a master list of ownership and also a game list with its state and location. The stuff you pay real money for is stored on the master list, and the stuff that you earn is stored on the games list. One is stable and one has been called less reliable. The game list needs to retain practically an unlimited state of states. The object can be in your inventory, on a ship that's being used, on a storage ship, on a planet sitting on the ground. Insurance, stolen items, earned items, and their location is a little bit messy, and that can result in frustration to the players. Checkout and stow is complex, and when an item is in play, it transitions from the list to the universe. This is one way to prevent duplication, exploits, or errors. And remember that a ship isn't just a ship because it also calls all the items, components, and stores that are within it, possibly thousands of individual parts. If you left a ship somewhere unstowed and they patch, you're going to lose it. But they want to address this in the future with a new solution for earned items as an entitlement record, and that would be stored on the master list, the stable list, with all of the other things that you paid real money for. They then spoke about CitizenCon, which is pre-recorded this year, not in person. They said it might be a little bit shorter than usual, streamed live on Twitch, and eventually it's going to make its way onto YouTube. I am hosting NoobiCon 2025 at the new house in the new studio this year. The idea is that because there's a no in-person CitizenCon for us to go to, I'm going to be hosting a watch party so we can at least watch it together. Some people have already booked their tickets to come to Ottawa, which is the capital city in Canada. And for clarity, I'm not talking about Ottawa in Illinois, in Kansas, in Ohio, or Ottawa in Oklahoma in the USA. I'm talking about Canada. Looks like CIG is presenting on the 11th, so we have activities planned from the 10th through the 12th. Some people are actually arriving on the 9th and leaving on the 13th. We have all of the farm stuff. The simulators are probably going to be working 24/7 during that time. And of course, it's a great chance to meet up, discuss, and enjoy our common love for Star Citizen. The studio is basically 3,000 square feet with enough TV and couch for everyone to watch. I plan to live stream it as well if you can't make it in person. And if you want to participate, please message me on Discord to see how we can fit you in. Jared said to not expect any information on Squadron 42 at their CitizenCon, and something about not expecting any info on 1.0. He said that they would only talk about the things that you might see this year, and this is done to minimize the distraction and disruption to the developers. That's it. 3 hours compressed. If you like the content and got something out of it, please consider sharing with a friend or org mate. Reach out to me if you're interested in NoobiCon 2025. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.